모든 경기장 도시락.
All right, guys, welcome back. It is time for game number 5 between Dignitas and Vile. Dignitas.KilleR spawning as our yellow Zerg player here at the left-hand position on Antigua Shipyard. And Hawk, his opponent, correctly pointing out that this is an only cross version of Antigua Shipyard. Hawk from Team Vile is our red Zerg player who has taken out 3 members of Dignitas in a row now.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him do really well. I mean, it's cool for me to come back and cast the stuff and see players that I casted, like a year ago in those smaller online cups, be on good teams, winning games in important tournaments. It's really kind of cool to see how people progress. What is that icon that Killer has?
Oh, it's
kind of
just
looks
like a bear print or something?
Well, a bear with 5 toes.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
think it's
very
that.
true.
What is
very
it, like
true.
maybe a seashell?
I don't know.
Or
it looks like a paw print of some kind.
Modified
I don't
NBC
know what
logo.
it is, though.
I don't know. Don't know.
Somebody
on Twitter knows what that is, and I'm going to feel dumb when I find out.
Tweet it at us, guys. He's at
Yeah.
Gosudo. I'm at Catspajamas SE2. In fact, on Twitter, SE Smith 4205 says, regarding your bracket challenge idea, he says, a bracket challenge sounds amazing unless my mom enters and starts voting on logos and mascots and wins it like usual. So.
Hey, that's that's kind of how it goes. But I don't know. I mean, as these team leagues kind of get more popular and as the people start getting into it more, I mean, TLPD or Team Liquid already ran a fantasy team league for GSTL a season ago, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, I think people could definitely start getting into it. I'd love to see that type of thing happen with StarCraft 2 more.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Just the amount of people that we can get involved in that would be very, very fun.
I mean, some people are like, oh, well, StarCraft 2 players aren't consistent enough to do that with. Oh, yeah? Well, how'd your picks go in fantasy football this year? How consistent did that end up being?
I won.
Yeah, well, there you go. See,
I am the exception to the rule. I actually won our league. Funny story. I went into the playoffs at 5-8 overall as the 6th seed, and ended up taking the whole thing. So yes, thank you very much. Anyway, Speedling build coming out of Hawk, Expand build coming out of KilleR.
Yep.
And looks like he is doing a pretty quick speed version of that as well.
Yep. Nothing super early for either player, so these guys are going to play it pretty much straight up. Hawk is going to, of course, try to get in there and do some damage. Now the question is Hawk going to just be doing a Speedling Expand in this case, or is he going to be going for something like Baneling All-In? You could see that Baneling nest go down in a little bit. It's a very valid build on this map. It's not the longest running distances, so sometimes you can get in there.
He is only mining 1 gas at a time right now. We'll see if that changes in a bit.
Yeah, well, in that case, it could be a mistake. He could accidentally leave that guy on there. Otherwise, he could just be saving up for an eventual lair. Yeah, it will just be a Speedling Expand from Vile.Hawk.
All right, making some Zerglings, sending them across the map, but of course this has a long enough walk distance now that KilleR's going to have a few lings up of his own. This base isn't going to come under too much pressure, and he should be able to defend just fine.
Yep, pretty much. But what KilleR will need to think about is getting his own Baneling nest here. Generally, if you're going to go hatch first, you want to have a Baneling nest because you're going to usually have less lings. But in this particular case, Hawk being very drone heavy after going for that Speedling Expand. Normally you see a few more lings added on, and a Baneling nest as well for Hawk. Okay, so he's going to need to add some more Zerglings on at some point, which means he really can't afford to lose these right now.
Yeah, certainly, and we'll see if these Zerglings end up committing a little bit more. They shouldn't, because there's enough out for KilleR that he's not really going to get on through, but of course may just be trying to coax some more Zerglings out of his opponent when he doesn't want to make them. But KilleR not taking the bait at the moment.
Yeah, it kind of seems like Hawk actually is just using this to appear aggressive and just give himself kind of the ability to drone up beyond. Oh, the Zergling's hiding in the little crevasse there. But yeah, just kind of droning up for the most part behind this, trying to stay up economically with his opponent. And like you said, try to coax some more Zerglings out of KilleR, but KilleR making a few Zerglings here, but for the most part not falling for it. So both these guys playing pretty smart so far in this ZVZ.
Robert G. Chappell did correct us on Twitter. He said that paw print there is actually from the Panda WoW expansion. So the new Panda paw for the WoW expansions. There you go.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to kind of playing around with that. I'm not a big WoW guy, but I do like to kind of jump on every time there's a new expansion and play through the new stuff.
Hawk has a couple of Banelings coming up back at home. They pop right now. Ooh, just too late. The Lings for KilleR run on by, splitting up pretty effectively at the moment. Morphing in some Banelings here, but
was found.
Yeah, all that was found out. And he actually has lost a few Lings without doing too much damage in return. Oh, and one Baneling takes out all the rest of his units, so a good defense there from Hawk, and he has equalized now pretty well against that faster expand from his opponent.
Drones are just like covered in goo from that baneling. They're like, excuse me, I'm trying to mine, please. Thank you.
This is disruptive to my work environment, and I will report you to the BBB.
That's right.
All right.
Wait, does the BBB do things with internal business?
Possibly
affairs?
OSHA as well.
Oh, okay, there
With
you go.
OSHA.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. I hear corporate stuff, and I just run the other way screaming.
There's nothing really wrong with that. I did the corporate thing for a while.
Ah.
All right, let's see here. Unit counting station shows equal amount of basically lings, banelings, queens, stuff like that. Nothing too different there. Hawk down by 1 on every possible unit category, though, which was a little amusing for me. Down 1 drone, down 1 baneling, down 1 zergling. But let's see now. Yes, KilleR's going to be tasked with defending. Just to watch out. Can't even commit there just against the lings, much less the baneling sitting there as well.
Kind of a stalemate for both of these guys right now. LR for Hawk finishing a little bit quicker. And I'm curious to see if he's going to go for a Spire here. He is taking the 3rd. But what sort of higher tier tech is he going to go for? Oh, and there is the Spire. I love to see the Spire in ZVZ. I don't know. I just like Mutalisks all around. I admit it. But, yeah, Spire can be pretty cool in ZVZ. The thing you really need to watch out for more than anything else is when your opponent goes for Infestors.
Right.
A couple fungal growths can ruin your day pretty quickly.
And, you know, I remember back at MLG Providence when Rain Slush played against IMNST. Oh, nice baneling hit there, taking out all the Zerglings. And it actually turned into Mutalisk Wars and was very fun to watch. A lot of great control. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange when that happens, but also quite entertaining here. Ah, but there's the Infestation Pit right away, and I believe I see an Overseer flying over the base of Hawk right now, too, so he will see that.
Let's see here. Yes, I believe so.
Does see the Spire.
You are correct.
And a Hydralisk Gunner as well.
Good baneling hit, though, from Hawk, but then takes a good baneling hit back from KilleR as well. Spinecrawler will eventually get itself... Oh, maybe.
Ow.
No, they're not going to let him burrow.
Ow.
Oh,
What's that
please,
Spinecrawler doing?
Please,
like,
please,
leave me alone. It's like, I have the worst life ever.
I hate you all. I hate you all.
That poor
baneling
Spinecrawler.
comes in for Hawk. We'll see if this is enough with the Zergling. Ah, he's finally rooting himself now.
Yep. Wow.
Okay, Hawk with a pretty good supply
I'm never doing
advantage.
this again. I'm never uprooting for the rest of my life.
Hawk with a pretty good supply advantage because he did just build those Mutalisks, and we're waiting for the Hydralisks and Infestors to come out from KilleR at the moment. You can see he's banking a lot of resources to get that done.
Yep, Carapace first for Hawk as well for those Mutalisks, so prepared to do some fighting with it, but between the Infestors and the Hydralisks, it's going to be pretty tough for Hawk to do any sort of significant damage with those, I've got a feeling.
All right, let's see here, though. Yeah, I mean, that is a strong anti-air composition out of KilleR. That's 8. Mutalisks are already up, flying into his opponent's base. Not much here to defend quite yet. When the Spore Crawler comes up, it'll be a totally different story. Looks like he's just going to tear after this Queen and one of those Hydralisks, and he is able to kill that. Is he just going to go? Yes, with his Zerglings, he's just going to go after the Spore Crawler. He's got to watch out, though. He's lost 1 Yuta. A second is going down. Now we have Hydralisks starting to make their way in, so it's going to be a lot more difficult for him to try and get damage done. He has to watch out for the fungal.
Yep, I don't know if I agree with this move at all by Hawk. Very, very risky. He's just actually going to lose all these Mutalisks.
Yes,
there's nothing he can do now.
And those are
It's a big investment.
Expensive.
Yep, and he's down about 20 supply now, so while Hawk has been doing pretty good, suddenly things not going too well, getting that second Evo Chamber and a Roach Warren and an Infestation Pit at the same time. That is a lot of stuff, man. Hawk getting a little bit desperate here, needs to find some sort of composition that he can get in and do some damage with. He has correctly identified, though, that his opponent has not gone for Roaches quite yet, so if he could do some sort of +1 Roach timing or something like that, he's got a pretty good chance of doing some damage. Ah, but there we go. Now the Roach Warren coming up for KilleR.
Yep. Now there is a, you know, he is on 3 base economy with a slight worker lead. So, and these mules are going to take map control as well. So he's certainly not out of things yet, but KilleR is just looking increasingly strong.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be tough to stop him now. I mean, he's going to have those missile attacks. You know, it's kind of funny, actually. Hawk is going to have +1 missile attacks before KilleR does, actually.
Yeah, kind of amusing.
Yeah.
Is there anything? Okay, yeah, that's right. The Hydralisks that are up now can take advantage of that for KilleR, and he's just finishing up a macro hatch at the same time. Don't believe any such thing has come down for Hawk yet. Nope.
Yep.
Oh, just a regular hatch actually just starting.
Oh, okay, yeah, just going ahead and putting down a 4th base there.
Yep.
Why not? Something unexpected, something KilleR may not necessarily be looking for.
Sure.
It's a good idea.
All right, so let's see here. 26 more Lings coming up now, which isn't going to prove to be terrible against Infestors and Hydras. Of course, he's trying to catch up on his own Hydra count. I'm sorry, Infestor count, but he is still going to be 11 behind, or I'm sorry, 8 behind whenever the Infestors pop up for both players.
Yeah, this is the point in the ZVZ where it's tough to kind of predict what's going to happen. I mean, at this point, a lot of the game just kind of relies upon when players take their upgrades, when they decide to push, and if they're doing those things at the safest times. We see Killer making a push right now, and in a ZVZ, you know, getting the wrong timing for a push could mean the end of the game just because you are pretty vulnerable to counterattacks. You're not so much later on just because you can kind of produce units by the time they get there, but around this time in the game is where it starts to become very dangerous. You have to be very careful and methodical about when you choose to become aggressive.
You know, this is a very fun, varied unit composition, though, for both our players. These are the kind of ZVZs that are enjoyable to watch. Looks like we do have a Roach popping out there, so we can help defend in a second, but that 4th base is found out, and we'll see if Killer tries to punish that. In the meantime, he is making his way out. That is a lot of Infestors. That is actually an extraordinary amount of Infestors. Hawk, of course, does have a significant advantage in Roaches, 29 of them already on the ground, and with some Mutalisks as well, but still, that is just a huge amount of Infestors.
So yeah, it's a pretty bizarre composition here. So not the highest in damage output, but he'll be able to have great control with all those fungal growths. The nice thing for Hawk, though, is that he is getting 2/2 at the same time, whereas Killer is only getting +2 weapons. Oh, nice little run by the Lings.
Yeah, certainly. He's going to kill quite a few units here, and looks like Queen will fall as well, so...
Oh, good hold position, Micro, with those drones, too.
Yeah, making sure that those Roaches that were sitting in the back weren't going to be taken out, but it looks like Hawk is going to continue trying to do damage with this. Not really too much more he can do, but at the same time, Killer's just going to make his way right up the front. 6 more Roaches coming out now for Hawk, and he is going to 2/2 as well. Nice job taking out a couple of Infestors, though, before they were able to do any damage. However, a lot of Infested Terrans have been spat out at the moment.
Yeah, it just does not look like Hawk has enough stuff right now to hold this off. I mean, the Hydra's doing their thing, and just so many fungal growths going down.
Right.
But, you know, the Roach reinforcements are coming in, and it's really tough to push a position with just Hydralisks and Infestors.
Absolutely.
So this kind of weird composition by Killer just may not end up working out.
Well, we'll find out. He's reinforcing very well. Yes, there are 29 more Roaches just popping out for Hawk, and he's got to turn those around as soon as they pop out and start rallying them into fight. But it's still going to be pretty difficult as Killer is effectively taking out this base. Yes, he is, and reinforcing with a bunch more Roaches.
Yep, that's right. That may just seal the deal for Dignitas.KilleR. Yeah, just a little bit ahead of Hawk at every stage in this particular game.
Yeah. A valiant effort from Hawk, I must say. A couple of points he thought that he was going to get pretty far ahead, but Killer looks like he was finally going to put a stop to the reign of terror from Vile.Hawk.
Yeah, well, it was kind of just a really tough position for Hawk to be in. You know, going for Mutalisks, your opponent goes for something that basically just shuts down what you've spent a lot of income on. And from then on, in a match like ZVZ, it's very, very difficult to come back. And we're going to see, yeah, there it is, the GG from Hawk. So the champion is taken down. Dignitas.KilleR getting the 2nd win for Team Dignitas, getting it closer to tie things up.